So what I want to take you through now is some of the most recent AB Commerce upgrades that we've released over the last 12 months. And I know we send out emails when when functionality gets released, but I appreciate that sometimes you're busy and sometimes things can bypass you. So while I'm going through it, I'm also going to remind you of maybe some of the key functionality we've released over the last year or two as well, because sometimes you just get busy and you forget and you don't realise. And even had one or two chats last night with people in the bar, and they asked about something, and I was like, oh no, that's released. So we'll go through it here now, because hopefully we'll join up all the dots. And the other thing I want to talk to you about as well, and we're going to bring Paul Montwell in on this conversation, is the plan, the development roadmap for the rest of 2023 as well. Okay, so we've grouped the functionality into various different segments of your online store. And the first segment that we want to talk about is how you can optimize your product detail page. So let's look at a product detail page here, and we've highlighted three different areas. The very first one I want to talk to you about is the upsell. So that's the area that's enclosed in the red brackets, okay? So this is a Samsung tablet. And basically, for the customer, they can just tick a box to add the case or an extra charger to their baskets. They just tick a box and all three items will go into the basket. So back to what I was talking about, you know, that really rich customer experience. I'm here to buy the tablet, but now that you've shown me that, oh yeah, sure, I'm going to need the case, and yeah, I might actually need a charger, or yeah, I might actually need headphones, or it might be batteries for a piece of equipment, or it might be drill bits for a drill, or it might be, you know, a tan brush or a tan mitt for a tan, or maybe even the tan remover. So look at all the products on your site and think about how you can upsell, because it's a great way of, one, enriching the customer experience, but two, increasing your basket value. And we all want to increase basket value. The second point I want to make there is around the stock messages, and Ken touched on it earlier. Scarcity drives demand, okay? So in this example, it says last two remaining. So because it says last two remaining, I'm going to convert quicker. I'm not going to sit on it for fear of losing out. So, you know, that's functionality that we can display, set a buffer so that that displays when your quantity gets to 3 or when it gets to 2, and that's a setting in the back end. And lots, so it can say low stock, it can say, you know, last two remaining, it can say whatever it is. So that stock messaging is another great driver for conversion. On that point as well, while I'm looking at the quantity field, we have a max quantity available. So during periods of peak, if you've got products that are very much on trend and you're concerned about customers or maybe even other retailers depleting your stock levels by buying large volumes of them, you can set a max quantity on a product. I know for the pharmacy sector that's particularly relevant, and we've actually set it so that max quantity can be set across a group of products as well. So just remember that max quantity is there if that's of use to you. And the other point I just want to remind you of as well is it's somewhat a related product. So it's the same product available in a different size or in a different colour. So in this case, we're looking at the silver tablet, and we're just showcasing that the tablet also comes in a dusty pink and it comes in black. So again, it's just enriching the customer experience and it's keeping them engaged and back to loyalty and they're having a nice experience with you, and a great way of, you know, ensuring they keep engaged and do convert, because I may not like the silver one, but oh, the dusty pink one's lovely and definitely going to buy that. Okay. So the next product detail page, again, we've featured a couple of different features here for you. The first and most obvious here is obviously that this product is out of stock. So just to remind some customers, because we've spotted over the last couple of months some retailers who are displaying products that are out of stock but may not have this functionality switched on. So if a product is out of stock, the capability to gather an email address to email me when it's back in stock. It's a great way of getting customers back to your site. So basically the way this works is that 50 people might submit their email address. 20 of the product might come into stock tomorrow. When those 20 come into stock, the first 20 on the list are going to get an email to say, great news, your product is now back in stock. 8 of them will order. In 4 hours' time, the system will look at it again and it will see that there's still 12 remaining. so it'll automatically pull the next 12 on the list. So it's a great piece of functionality. You don't need to engage with it, but great way of getting customers back to your site. So do think about that. The next one as well is version colors. So particularly for selling makeup, or suppliers can be really smart in the way they don't just colour things blue, red and green. It can be sparkly turquoise and midnight blue and fuchsia pink, and so sometimes it's hard to figure out which colour is what. So basically, when you click on the colour, the corresponding image will appear in the image container, and the name of the colour, the name of the colour will also display. You can see it there on the actual image. So you can associate version images to the version. And again, just better customer experience, works really well with lipstick, makeup colours, maybe, some functionality like that. And the final one there as well is free delivery. So to automate, do you see the free delivery icon up the very top left? So to automate the display of free delivery on products where the price of the product is above the free shipping threshold. Because again, I'm shopping around and I go, oh yeah, if I add that to my basket, I'm actually going to get free delivery. So again, it's driving the customer to convert. Okay, dynamic merchandising widget. So this is an automated panel of product recommendations, and it can be set up to display like it is here at the bottom of the product detail page, just underneath the main image container, or it can display at the top of a category landing page. It's based on the AB Commerce Analytics data. Okay, so there isn't artificial intelligence behind this. It's just based on the analytics data, and you can configure it to display top products purchased, top products viewed, products within specific categories or associated categories, or products within brand categories. It's a great stepping stone for those of you who are early in your e-commerce journey, may not yet be at a stage where you kind of want to employ the more advanced AI-powered product recommendations of the likes of Segmentify, which Ken talked about earlier. But it'll just maybe step you along that. It means you don't have to go and manually set up related products for each product. Okay, thinking then about optimizing your checkout. So reminding people here about installment payments. I had a couple of retailers asking about that even last night. Just to remind you that we have an integration with Hum on the platform. So particularly for those of you who would have a high-ticket product or high-ticket products in your catalogue, the option to offer customers the ability to pay with installments. So you can see how it displays on the product detail page, and you get your installment breakdown, and then the Hum payment option displays as an additional payment option on checkout. So again, that can just be a nice one to help a customer to convert, because sometimes when they see that big figure, they can stall on it, and again, good one to drive conversion. This is a new piece of functionality which some of you might be interested in. Multiple shipping options. So pushing the shipping option on the customer side, basically, so the customer can decide which shipping option they're going to select. Now, in this case, it's €8 for standard delivery, or there's a local delivery charge, okay, and then free for click and collect. But we've set it up in a very generic way, so even if you're not offering local delivery, maybe you'll set this up so that it's €8 for standard delivery, but $8.99 for express delivery, okay? Might be a great way of just clawing back a little bit, but giving them an option for next day delivery, if you can do that. So that might be an interesting one for those of you to help you over the line with the next day delivery. Okay, Stripe. So we have completed an integration, or the first phase of the integration between AB Commerce and Stripe. And we've also facilitated Google Pay and Apple Pay as a payment option on the checkout page for the Stripe integration. And the next phase of that is to move that further into the checkout, or earlier in the checkout process, so that a customer can maybe see Google Pay and Apple Pay on the basket page. And we're also then looking at that for the other online payment gateways that are integrated onto the platform. So some of you might be on AuthPay, Global Payments, or Elevon. Opeo haven't all of those capabilities yet, but as they become available, we'll do that too. Okay, conversion tactics then. So a little nuggets that will help you to maybe better convert the customer. So the first one is encouraging spend for free shipping. So driving the customer to add more to their basket and drive the basket value to get free shipping and signposting that to them. And you can see that on the orange bar just at the top of the site there in the example that I've shown. Spend another X and get free shipping, so encouraging them to engage. Then the countdown widget. So using it again to drive urgency. So countdown, you can see it there highlighted in the yellow highlight at the top of the page. It's a site-wide widget, so it appears on all pages of the site. Great when you're counting down to the end of a sale. You know, don't miss out, calling that urgency. And then if you're not promotion driven, use it to add value, you know, so last date for delivery to guarantee delivery for Mother's Day, you know, so think about, you know, it doesn't always have to be promotion orientated. Okay, this is a new piece of functionality on the platform, abandoned basket emails. So when a user starts the checkout and then abandons it, we're sending them a link to their basket so that they can complete their order. And you can decide after what amount of time they should actually get that email. And by default, it's only going out to subscribed customers, so customers who have opted in. Remember, we're gathering their email address there at the first stage of checkout. That's configurable, but that's what we're just doing for now by default. The other thing is you've control to edit the email that the customers receive, and that you can include promo codes in that as well. So you might want to say, you know, here's the basket that you abandoned, here's 10% to complete a 10% off promo code. And on that, something that got raised last night, remember now that we have not only multi-use codes, but we also have single-use promo codes on the platform as well. So if that's something of interest. And anything that I'm suggesting here, I can see loads of people jotting stuff down, which is great. helpdesk@magico.com. Just pop in your list of things that you'd like to get activated, and the support team will help you over the next week or 2 or 3 setting all of that up. Then just to let you know about streamlining and optimizing your operations, I suppose some more recent AB Commerce dashboard updates, some of which you might have spotted or maybe not. The very first of those is on your dashboard, you've got your sales reports, and I've just highlighted a new one that's gone in there. You might have spotted that already. It's your sales by week. So we already have sales by month, but just to break that down so you can actually see your sales by week. And when that opens up, you can actually easily copy and paste that into an Excel for those of you that know your numbers and that are jumping into your numbers on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis, so they can actually dissect that and make it a bit easier to figure out what's selling and what's not selling. The next one then is your sales by month, and again, yeah, Erin will be upset when she sees all these yellow highlights on my slides. Not beautifully designed, but you can see here, so this is the sales by month. There's an option there to click here for a simpler version of the table, which actually presents like that. And again, that copies and pastes out into an Excel. So again, easier for you to actually filter it out and actually view it in an Excel. And the last one then is view top brands since over the last week or over the last month. So that filtering has been added to your top categories, top subcategories, top products viewed, top products abandoned, and top brands. So that to be able to see those over the last week and over the last month. And there's more planned there as well. We have new email architecture that I'm sure a lot of you would be delighted to hear about, because up until now, all of the emails that go out are in plain text. So some of you would have inquired about, you know, adding your logo and nice look and feel and branding to it. And I suppose the other issue with them as well is that there were HTMLs, so it was tricky for you to add any content to the emails. You know, from a peak periods and that you want to inform the customer about different things. So we can now move you over to the new email architecture, which allows you to add your logos, add colours, branding, add your social links there as well, and you have access then to edit the email. So if that's something that you'd like to do, engage with the team and they'll help you on that. And finally then, in terms of optimising and streamlining your operations, we have Kieran Crean from Wave OMS is going to talk to us now after this. So there's a full integration there between AB Commerce and Wave OMS. And for those of you who are not familiar with Wave OMS, it's an order fulfillment solution developed and brought to the market by Kieran Crean and his brother Mick. They developed it for their own operations, so it's tried and tested. They perfected it, and it was so good that so many Irish retailers in the market said, we want some of this, so they've actually brought it to the market. And I know a lot of retailers here in the audience today, for some of you, particularly when it gets to peak, the whole fulfillment and getting orders out the door, and what I talked about earlier, getting orders out the door for next day delivery, that becomes tedious and it can begin to creak, and there can be a lot of admin around it, and it can restrict growth of the online store. So Kieran will talk to you about that and the benefits of getting that part of the operations right, so that you can press the button then with confidence to grow the online store and know that there isn't going to be a bottleneck when it comes to fulfillment. And then retention strategies. So yes, 2023, it's all about optimising. We're not really revolutionising anything. We're just working harder to make sure that customer comes back and make them loyal. And we have, as you know, the integration with the Oppo, and as Gillian has very well presented earlier on, the integration, the upgraded integration with MailChimp for the integrated catalogue, and also the Klaviyo integration as well. So much opportunity there, not just in terms of the email that you traditionally send out, but the automated flows and getting that working for you behind the scenes, and just making the whole email marketing engine work harder for you. Okay, and then omni-channel in-store stock availability. So we talked about this earlier on when I was talking about loyalty and that whole idea of adding value to the customer when they're at home scrolling through your website. So if you're looking at a product detail page, you can see down the bottom in green, might be a little bit hard to see there on the monitors, but you can see where products are available for home delivery and for click and collect. And if we go into the product detail page, you might see something a little bit different maybe to what you have on your own site. So this is for retailers who have multiple store locations. So you can opt for home delivery, or you can opt for click and collect, and it's actually showing you the availability in that store. And if I click on change store, I can actually see the availability in each of the different stores. So that capability is there. It gives a very rich customer experience for the customers sitting at home. They might even go in and convert online or convert in store as a result. And the only difference there, an awful lot of you are sending us up a stock file from your EPOS system. So you just need to send us an individual stock file from each of your different store locations, and we can fulfill that. Okay, and while we've been busy with loads of functionality, the services team have also been very engaged with a lot of our retailers over the last 6 or 9 months in particular. Engaged with them on customer success programs, really getting down on a monthly basis and working very closely with the teams to guide them on a growth journey. And some of the services that they've been offering there are around e-com trading, and it's what we were talking about there with the Air Impact earlier this morning, engaging with them on a monthly basis, looking at the figures, because some retailers aren't in that mindset of looking at the figures on a monthly basis. What's selling, what's not selling, where are their opportunities, and feeding that then into, as Gillian said, your monthly or your marketing comms calendar, and having a planned approach to that, so that as a result, you know, you've got good graphics, your buying team are aware of it, they're buying deep stock, and you're just making sure that you're making the most of the online store. For some retailers, a paid search review, some are underway with paid digital advertising and just want kind of fresh eyes on, are we allocating the right budgets in the right areas? Profitability reviews, optimising AB Commerce functionality. So a lot of you maybe gone online but haven't realised maybe some of the other functionality that's there. Is there other opportunities there that you're missing out on? Social media comms training, email marketing training and mentorship that Gillian has spoken about, and the merchandising category and navigation review that Erin spoke about earlier as well, jumping in there to kind of tidy up a lot of that. It's great when sites go live, but sites evolve, catalogues get bigger, and things can go a little bit wayward from time to time, so bringing that back online because it has such an impact to the customer journey and conversion online. And then dedicated AB Commerce platform training. that's really important. I might just focus on that for a minute, because I know resourcing is tricky, and lots of you have various different team members coming and going from the team, and maybe some of the team members that are now working on the team never actually formally got A/B commerce training day one, or maybe so they may not be fully aware of how it's working. So just to ensure we don't negatively impact the performance of the site just by them maybe not understanding something, and also so that they can get the most out of the A/B commerce platform and understand how to really do the bells and whistles, it's great to offer dedicated A/B commerce training to the team, and even to do that, yearly or every 2 years, just to kind of recap. There can be a lot of things there, new releases that would really add value. Okay, and then some of the functionality that's coming up in 2023. Over to Paul Montel.
This year, start with GA4. Google Analytics, a lot of you are on Universal Analytics. That's coming to end of life by the 1st of July. So you all have to move over to Google Analytics 4. So we've started the process of moving people over. So if you haven't done that already, contact the help desk. You need to be moving over now. Now your Universal Analytics will continue to record, but that will stop on the 1st of July. So hopefully if you go online with GA4 today, you'll have 3 months of data by the 1st of July on both systems. So that's GA4. Also, there was an issue with Universal Analytics with the cookie pop-up when people were coming to the site and the cookie was popping up saying, do you want to accept cookies or not? We weren't allowed to put any JavaScript until they accepted all, in which case Google Analytics wasn't recording traffic where the traffic was coming from accurately. So we have a solution for that with GA4. Next is Google Pay and Apple Pay. So we've done a few free upgrades to your site over the last year. You probably noticed that your View Basket page has got a little bit more functionality where you can change your store on the View Basket page. You can see your shipping and everything. That was in preparation for things like Apple Pay and Google Pay. Now, we've got it working for Stripe, and I think we've got it working for Optimise as well, and we're going through the other providers as well. There's a two-step approach here where we just want to have it added on, so it's an option, a payment option at the end of the checkout. But then we want to have a sort of a second step where we turn it on the View Basket page so that the customer can bypass the checkout. Now, to do that, it means that you have to be okay with them not entering any information that's they're currently entering through the checkout, but taking whatever information comes through from, say, Apple Pay, their address details and so on. So it's a two-step approach. Let's get it working first at the end of the checkout, and then let's turn it on as well at the start of the checkout. And we've been doing upgrades for the last 12 months so that your View Basket page actually has all that information that you had further into the checkout available for them on the View Basket page. The next one is subscriptions. So we're talking about allowing you, when you're selling a product, to say to the customer, look, you can subscribe to it so that we'll save your credit card details and we'll charge you once a month and send you the product automatically. So that's another thing that we're going to do during the design workshops. We're thinking of having it so that you can turn it on for category products, or you can just turn it on for a specific product. And the idea is that the customer won't have to come onto the site. Once a month they'll get an email saying, we're going to charge your card now in a few days' time. And when the card gets charged, and if it's been approved, then it just goes in as a new order. So your back-end systems will just automatically treat it like the customer came onto the site and completed it. And we'll also have some sort of a mechanism, so if their card is expired, their date, that we give the customer maybe 5 days to re-enter their credit card details through a link on an email. Okay, the next is gift vouchers. We want to do a gift vouchers module. What this means is that you can say to a certain product and say, this is a gift voucher, in which case, when you're adding to the basket, it will ask you for some extra information like your first name, the email address of who you're sending it to, an optional message, but also an optional date for sending the gift voucher. So if they don't put in a gift voucher date in, they'll get the gift voucher straight away. We'll probably also give you the ability to delay it maybe by 3 hours if you want to just check for fraud, so that they don't get it straight away. Maybe we send it to them 3 hours after the order, but we can also send it to them instantly if you want to take that risk. But if you set a date, say you're sending a gift voucher on a birthday, we won't send that gift voucher to them until that day. Now, currently, a lot of you are doing that manually anyway. It's just going to automate that process for you. Now, it can be automatic as well. We're in the design workshops, I think, and also giving you a manual option. You say, look, I want to be able to come in once a day and then just batch send them all out. I don't want them to be sent automatically, just in case, again, another step that you might decide to take to prevent fraud. And then the last one is the promotions upgrade. So we took all your feedback from Black Friday promotions last year. We're doing workshops at the moment to add some extra functionality based on the feedback we got from Black Friday promotions last year to give you some extra features for promotions. Now, all I can say is, can you all, in preparation for Black Friday, try and get all your promotions ready by September and actually turn them on for, say, half an hour. Just go through that. A lot of people leave it to the last 2 weeks of November, so that suddenly the help desk gets 100 emails saying, Black Friday's next week, I want to run all these promotions, can you help me? And then there's a lot of panic. As Martin said in the talk this morning, you should be preparing for Black Friday now. And you can turn on your promotion, say, for an hour just in September, just to test, even for just 10 products, just to make sure you've got the process right. And then you just park it, and then you just turn up the week before November, and you have everything ready, and you just turn it back on again for Black Friday. But we'll be doing promotions upgrades for you in September with some extra features for that as well.